Yeah, Radio Cast. Now on Pandora Radio.
Coming at you live on Saturday mornings, the Mail Review. Join me, Mark L., TR, Josh the Intern, and Dylan Yale. Come kick it with the leg, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. We out here doing extraordinary things. Find out how men really think, how the world looks through our eyes. We talk about all the things that affect males. Tune in and check us out on the Mail Review, the gentlemen that are going to take you there from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. right here on YaleRadiocast.com. Get the business.
Yup. Hey, you're here with Lightworker Wayne, and if you need motivation, if you need encouragement, if you need the positivity, I'm that guy. So subscribe to my vibe. You can find me on TikTok, IG, YouTube at Lightworker Wayne. Hey, and also if you dealing with any type of mental health issues, depression, anxiety, anger, and if you need coaching on that, then I'm the light. Send me an email at supererswayy0623@gmail.com. I'm the light to shine you on a road of greatness, for you can succeed and overcome and manage that. So don't be afraid to send me an email and subscribe to my vibe. Let's get it!
Hey, it's Pastor Sean with Healing Haven of Atlanta, where we specialize in the healing and development of our young men and our young dads 18 and up. We are a community resource center. We specialize in the healing and development, young men, young dads. We help you get on your feet. We help you get your job. We help you with leadership development. You have suspended license because of child support. We have fatherhood classes that can help you guys get on your feet, get your license back, whether it is court ordered or voluntarily. Plus, we have wraparound services that are right here in this community to help us with job training and job placement. Y'all can reach us at Healing Haven, the number 8 at gmail.com, or reach us on the web at healinghavenatl.org. Come through, come holler at us, let us be of service to you. Peace.
Strong,
We going crazy. The first rule is protect this black nation. What's worse, that somebody smoking a crack pipe, getting loaded, exterminating the black life. Black sister, Joe figure, nothing is fine. My whole trip to the zipper black designer.
What's up? What's up? It's Pastor Sean Chinn with the Keep Your Chin Up podcast, where we provide help, hope, and resources through casual but courageous conversations. Y'all might know me from Healing Haven of Atlanta. We're a community resource center over there that specializes in the healing and development of young men and young fathers. So we specialize in this. This is what I do. I absolutely love leading that organization. And so we are actually at the Keep Your Chin Up podcast, providing help, hope, and resources through casual but courageous conversations. And one of those courageous conversations that we'll be talking through today with some of our guys is, I done made a damn mess of my life. And really, do programs for men, do they really work? My special guest is going to be, actually, y'all got two special guests. One of them is going to be Mr. West Side of Atlanta, Mr. Walter also Brook. He's a purpose-driven son. Hey, so I'm going to read all of this stuff he got me to say to all of you guys. He's purpose-driven. He's a father, brother to many. I can attest to that. New to the G-Dad Club.
All right.
Okay. And the second one in a row, and he's an entrepreneur, and he's actually one of our facilitators of our Male Matters mentorship programs that we have, fatherhood programs over at Healing Haven of Atlanta. And then, y'all want to give him a round of applause or something? He's here. Yay! Cool. Then our second young man is actually Therapist G. He's the owner of Lawton Counseling and Addiction Services, LLC. So he's a licensed clinical and mental health counselor, national certified addiction counselor. Why you got number 2 right here? The national certified counselor. Hey, Therapist G. So y'all know, so we always want to have a professional that's always going to be able to help us guide these conversations. So at the end of the day, people don't walk away with just the conversation, but they walk away with real resources and real help. So we have, again, the expertise of Therapist G. Y'all put y'all hands together for Therapist G.
Thank you.
So y'all already heard the title was, and now actually we've had a influx of men that really come in and they seek out the programs of mentorship, things dealing with men's health. Sometimes, we get in situations where we're not only a danger to ourselves, but we also put our families in danger. Or sometimes we even, to the fact we wind up losing our families. Once we lose hold of ourselves, we wind up losing that grip. And sometimes we never recover from that. So there are a whole lot of programs that we know that are out there that are able to assist in these areas of, one, helping that guy get back on his feet, but then secondly, helping him to be able to reclaim his family or take ownership of his family for the first time. Because most of the time what winds up happening is we don't value that responsibility. We don't value that, so we just treat it as flimsy as we possibly can, because again, we don't value that, so we wind up losing it. So that's kind of the thing that we're going to jump into talking through today is, do these these programs for men, do they really work? I'll start with you, Therapist G.
All right, sounds good. I guess I get to go first today. Put me on the spot then, but it's no problem. But first off, I'm glad to be here today, fellas. And the question again is, do these programs benefit men? Well, I do believe these programs benefit men, but it's up to the men to stay consistent, like we talked about before, and actually work the program like Mr. Walter explained to us before. So then what does that look like? And I guess we'll get into more of that today. Okay, all right.
Walt, we're jumping in, man. What are your experiences?
With those experiences right now.
Well, what's your background first?
Let's get it, man. I'm a West Side Atlanta native, man, and I'm a brother. I was raised a brother.
Okay.
I know what it is to be a brother. My brother's keeper is like motto.
Okay.
Point blank period. But at the same time, going through life, hey, it has its ups and its downs. And when it's time to figure that out and be purpose driven, okay, yeah, God got a calling on you, and they're stepping into that calling to continue to be their brother, to uplift their brother, no matter what.
Usually families, especially here in Atlanta, these family here tend to be more tight-knit, more close. here in the South, was that your situation too? Where your family is really, really close?
Most definitely. You know, the women folk got the women folk thing going on, right?
Yeah.
But they love their men. You know, and down here, you know, if we were growed up in that neighborhood, you family. It's just bottom line. You know, it didn't matter about, okay, your mom was over here, your mom was over there. You know, we looked out for one another. And that's just the golden rule.
Cool. So was your dad in your life?
Yeah, he was
growing up.
Yeah, he was in my life. He most definitely was there. He did his best. You know, being coming from his background and things like that. You know, being a war vet, so on and so forth. So it was a challenge, but then again, we got through all that.
Okay, cool. How many siblings you got?
I got 3 blood brothers and a host of brothers.
And a host of brothers, yeah.
Brothers and sisters all everywhere, man. Yeah.
I know a lot of times, man, me and you, we talk about family. Yeah. Family is key here. And then your grandmom come up a lot of times in our conversations. Right. So what was that relationship like with you and grandma?
My dad, mom, and my mom, man, it was close. Even my great grandmother, had the liberty to have her in my life when I was younger before she went on the glory thing, man. And one thing about them grandfolks, they ain't play no man.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
They didn't play no man. But the loving part was that I got a lot of love from them. So when it comes to loving people, when it comes to being able to express unconditional love, put some of that mess on the back burner and pray for folk. Hey man, I'm not.
So I like hearing what he's saying about his environment and where he grew up, because that's what we teach all day long is your environment and what interpretations you make about yourself, others in the world that may come from that environment.
Right.
So what I've heard from you so far is you grew up in a very loving environment, close-knit family.
Right.
Everyone protected each other. So what do you believe some core beliefs came out of that?
The core belief that came out of that is their number one rule. Treat others like you want to be treated. Bottom line. And if you see a need, you sow a seed. That's that.
Okay. If you see a need, you sow a seed.
Yeah,
I'll leave preacher, pastor, minister.
Yes. But see, then we talk about, if counseling truly works for a client, that's what we're talking about is your core beliefs. Because what happens in life is when you have that core belief surrounding family and family should be tight knit, then what happens when, let's say, for example, the court says that family is not going to look like the fantasy that we all have. And then what do we do with those emotions and those thoughts behind those type of situations? And that's why we're here, right?
That's why we're here.
Is to talk about what that may look like for us men,
right,
in general.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to this conversation with you guys.
That's good.
Yes, sir.
Man, you know what? So even the birth of Healing Haven of Atlanta, right? Where we have real people through real problems with real resources, that really came from these experiences that I had as a young man, as a young father, as a foster child, as a and then going through life, having people, businesses, and organizations that were kind of in place to help here and there, but of course, it kind of missed me because I grew up so fast. I was already paying bills at 16, 17 and a half years old. My son was, I was a young dad paying bills already. So when a mentor came into my life or tried to come into my life, it was somebody from the sheriff's office, and I was already a senior in high school, right? So I had already maneuvered myself to a certain point. So I didn't even see a value of having a mentor in my life. I thought that I was doing it. I was, I was a boss already in my own head, in my own, in my own right. But those were also some of the things, as life kept happening and those responsibilities of being a father kept happening, I started seeing, man, that I was really at a deficit. And I was, parenting from a place of, like you said, environment. Even though my family and I went through what we went through, man, we was in extended stay hotels for years. We was never stable. Even when we got older, we were still living out of trash bags. We didn't put our clothes in dresser drawers. We didn't hang our clothes up because environment and how we, kind of came up, we was never in one place long enough to be able to do that. We was always on the go. So it was living out of plastic bags and stuff like that. So taking and like you said, Therapist G, environment is everything, because I learned how to be a provider early, but as far as all of those other tools that it took to be a responsible young man on purpose, oh man, I missed all of them.
What many of us don't know is there's 8 stages of development. And at 16 years old, you're in a stage we call identity versus role confusion. So if you are 16 years old and now you're in this adult, mature world where you have all these responsibilities, well, when are you going to be able to spend some time with your peers? When are you going to the football games, doing the things that you're supposed to be doing as a teenager that creates your identity? Your identity is created for you early. But then what happens later on in life when, man, I've been busting my tail for a long, long time and my position is still here. That is when a lot of us men come see me. Because it's now, what else is there? Is this all life has to offer? And we have to teach them that life is more than just work, come home, take care of family. It's more to it.
More to it. Wow. Walt, you had them experiences?
Yeah, I had an experience. Because even being a brother man, being a young man that the household split up. Mom and dad, they split, for whatever, in different reasons, right? So being the older brother, hey, you got to do this. You got to do this. We want you to, do this, which I'm grateful for because it showed me a lot. It showed me, things about self-awareness, self-care, so on and so forth.
All of this was on your shoulders at an early age? What was the age?
How old were you? 14 years old.
14?
Yeah.
Let me jump in real quick. This is something for Therapist G. I'm gonna get back to you. How do you feel about mom or dad telling that young man that they are the head of the house when they leave?
Well, I just mentioned stages of development, correct? And each stage is crucial to who we become. Our perspective of ourselves, our core beliefs. So if I'm 15 years old and mom is saying, now you're the man of the house, I'm going to take on that stereotypical role of what I, at 15 years old, believe a man is. Which is what? I'm going to go out and find a job. And now, mom, here's the money. Right? But then if I'm the man of the home, now there's some consequences to that because I am only 15. Therefore, I may be bringing new generations into the home that I'm not prepared to handle.
Wow.
And think about how that may reflect on someone and how that may cause their life to kind of go up and down a little bit longer than it needs to be.
I always, until recently, until I really started dealing with our young men over at Healing Haven of Atlanta, we always culturally looked at it as a badge of honor. We accepted it as a badge of honor, but like you just said, what happens is when a grown-up problem arises in the house, and that young man is in his mind and in his heart thinking that I should handle this situation. I'm 15, I'm 14, and this is the situation of a grown man. Now there's conflict.
Now it's conflict. Brain doesn't know what to do with that. On one end, I'm a kid. On the other end, I got to be this grown man. Now, if I'm 15 years old trying to be a grown man, then that means I don't have too many options on how we're going to get this finances, right? So what are the options? In some communities, a big part of our community, there's going to be crime. I'm going to get it by any means necessary. I always give my clients an example when they come to me because, number one, many men, and most of my men are clients. Most of my men are white men, but I'm starting to get more African-American men over the years that's now starting to give counseling an opportunity. And one of the biggest fears is just expressing themselves, communicating those dark things that's been on their minds for 20 plus years to a stranger, And so first, I always tell them, I give them a little disclosure on myself. I'm not perfect. Who you see in front of you now as Therapist G was not who I was just 7 years ago. And I may disclose a little bit more intimate information about me to let them know we're all human, right? But then I'll also tell them it doesn't matter about your environment. You can grow up in a very positive, safe environment like I did, mom and dad, middle class, all that good stuff. But even through that safe environment, I still had a hard time as an adult figuring it out where I belong because I lived a what? Very safe life. When I had opportunities to invest in Google and Facebook, all I saw from my dad was work, come home, work, come home, take care of family. No risk. So I missed out on a lot of things. And what loops do you think I went down because of that?
Okay.
So
wow,
it's interesting where this journey can take us.
Wow, I like that. I like that. I like that.
I'm back on you.
Hey man, I mean the way you put it, you know, I had a discussion the other day with a brother, you know, and being where I am is always encouraging, right? No, I don't proclaim to be a just a whole clinical technician and all this other stuff, but so with leading with love, being able to say, hey, I see me in you, right? And that right there could lead to X, Y, and Z, especially at this age now. That's what the benefit of going through those experiences has brought me to this point.
Yes.
Right? And then how could I help shape that young brother now that I see myself in from a place of love, though?
Yes, I love that.
From a place of love.
Yeah, but that's still a place you had to get to.
Takes time.
Yeah, it takes time because even with these programs, right? Even with these programs, we get guys that sign up for the programs. We get guys that seek out these programs, but most of the time they don't finish the program.
They don't follow up.
They don't follow through all the way. They get even to a certain point, and then they'll just stop coming.
Well, in my experience, when I first started my journey in counseling, I worked for a community organization here in Atlanta, and it was an organization that primarily received their clients from children's services. Okay, so you're talking about a population of people where 50% of the time they are being asked or ordered by the courts to receive the service, right? And so if you're asked by someone, hey, I need you, Pastor Chinn or Walter, to go in there and talk to Garrett Lawton, therapist Garrett Lawton, you're gonna feel some type of way,
right?
No matter if you know your life right now is all over the place. Okay? But then you got to look at just the whole complete thing of what's going on with the government and these organizations. Some organizations are very disorganized. Some organizations are not backed enough to provide the type of support that these clients need. Some organizations are in it to make just money. And so you got to go through all of those type of things. But at the end of the day, if you can help just one person change their life, you've done your job.
Man, I don't believe that one though, therapist. Just one person, then you've done your man. So Walt, experience wise, I know that you've been through a lot of organizations in order to kind of get to where you are now, right? So as far as what Therapist G was saying, experiences, what were your experiences?
Mine were, take child support for instance, right? They had programs where they help you get a job, they help you do all this stuff, GED, the whole nine. But it's almost like, hey, we're just gonna put you out there. Once again, now I got to figure this thing out. I don't have that actual guidance. You know, I didn't have that mentor or have that person that, you know, gave a crap about what was going on. You got to pay child support money, right? Because you got children. We got this over here we offer. You can use it if you want it. They're not letting you know what value is, what purpose is, what's this, what's that. So that same mentality that I had coming into it, it stuck with me.
Revolving door.
That's it. You know
what the hustle?
Man,
just get through it. Just figure out the weak link in the organization and just get it. That's funny. That's funny. That because I know that. That's why our mission is to help real people through real problems with real resources. Because what I do know is that it's a lot of organizations, like you said, Therapist G, that are not credible. It's a lot of organizations, like you said, Walt, that don't care. Like once something is court ordered, there is definitely a difference between if somebody is court ordered coming to Healing Haven of Atlanta for services or somebody that's coming on a volunteer basis.
Exactly.
And what I try to get our guys to understand, even in that, and even in because we help with career development and things like that too, right? Is bro, you got to do this for you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You cannot do this for somebody else because we're flawed people, which means that that pressure is going to start weighing on you.
Mhm.
So if mom sent you out, if grandma sent you out, if the mother of your child sent you over here and said, hey, I need you to do this to be able to get on your feet, is one thing if they suggest it. But to say, hey, you can't come back in my house until you go and do that, it's something totally different. So we try to teach that. That's why the empowerment thing and the self-awareness part of this, we try to build that man up from the get-go. Because if you try to do it for a flawed person, and when that flawed person pisses you off, now you back in your spiral.
Yeah. And one thing we need to clean up too is not that a lot of organizations are bad. The organizations are there for a really great purpose.
Yeah.
It's just that a lot of these organizations, since we work with the population of people under the poverty line, they're not being supported by the government the way they need to be supported to handle the amount of population that's coming into these community organizations. When you have thousands of people coming in each and every month and you only have 5 counselors, then how much work is really being done? And that's a problem that we're going to have to try to solve at some point if we want to continue to provide men, especially with the type of sources that they need.
Yeah. I like to say game recognized game.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're really, like you was talking about, the disorganization of these things sometimes when organizations are not really organized and this man comes into your establishment, this man is open and his heart is ready to receive. And now he sits in front of this other man or maybe the receptionist and he's not received well, right? All of a sudden, that wall comes up because it's hard enough to even get us in the building. But now you have this man that is kind of out here that's bleeding and he needs empathy, he needs sympathy, he needs to be built up. And then we have organizations that's playing. We have men that's why in our mentorship services, we don't just take anybody off the street talking about, I just want to mentor, I just want to give back. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of time, hurt people hurt people. So that means, sir, if you're still dealing with your brokenness, if you're still in the place of being disorganized in your life, that means that if we take you at face value, you're going to wreak havoc in this other young man's life that is trying to give somebody else another opportunity to help him get on his feet, right? So we don't, because of what we're perceived as strong and always got it together, we don't get the help and we don't get the benefit of the doubt. It's like, hey, we're going to put these services out there. Like you said earlier, all right, you go for the gusto and you go get on your feet and you go be great. But then when you got people that are in these organizations that really don't check the vibe or the temperature of the person that they're serving, because it can't be a cookie cutter approach to all of this. Garrett, you're different. Walt, you're different. Jim, you're different. D, you're different. Which means, relationship is not required here.
There you go. You're right.
Now that leads to accountability.
Oh boy.
Accountability.
Yeah. Because there's so many of us men, we're out here doing what we're supposed to do, and it's not being talked about. And so what I find is when they come to counseling, it's about being able to give them some type of positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
No matter how little it may be, you never know, it could be huge for them. Yeah. So when they come in, the first thing I'm going to ask you, hey, you're looking good today. What you did different? You know, just have them get them start thinking and you build that rapport. Yeah. It goes a long, long way. Actually brought some stats in since we are talking about men too. Want to talk about 2023. 2023 for men wasn't a really good year for men.
Wow.
50%. Well, in 2023, there were over 50,000 suicides.
Wow.
Primarily men.
Wow.
Mostly white men. But our numbers are climbing fast.
Right.
And there's reasons for that. And that is something now that we have to really pay closer attention to, because there's more and more men, due to what's happening in the world. These things are affecting us at an alarming rate.
Yeah.
And so these type of podcasts that we're doing, these are great for us to just get it out.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's one of our viewers was saying that it's huge for this generation, because again, they're watching us as older men. They're watching how we navigate, how we handle business. They're watching it, and unfortunately, some of us are doing a really, really good job at this, right? But a lot of us are still missing the mark because we're grown men in age, but in our minds and in our actions, we're little kids. We that broken little boy that never got the opportunity to get in a healthy place and space. You know, because there were always things that were required of us. Ain't no break. What break? Ain't no break. So I just started learning really that we teach people how to treat us, which means if I see myself as provider only, that's what I put out there, right? So I started teaching this once the Holy Spirit revealed this to me, because I have a family, which means hell no, I don't want no ties and just socks on Father's Day. No, y'all, you should know dad enough. You should know husband enough to when these things come around, it's time to be celebrated, that y'all know my personality. You know the things I like, you know the things that I dislike, and that you put thought into whatever you're going to present to me. Yes. I don't want you to give me nothing. Yes. I want you to present it to me. Yes. Right? So those are things that have to be taught. But even, you know, as a 50-year-old now, I was one of those just give, do, make sure everybody else straight, and I'm suffering in silence.
Yes. Who has your support?
There you go.
You know, when you do all those things, who's saying, hey, more than hearing every day, I love you, babe. I need a little bit more. That's all. That's substance. Yeah.
That substance, that genuine support. Okay, I can say I love you, but then hold on, where's my best interest at heart? Yeah. If I say I want to go over here and I want to attend this school or attend this, you know, or I want to be able to, you know, further my financial career, so on and so forth. I have these ideas, or so on and so forth. What's backing it? Where am I at? Where am I accepted with that?
Well, are we communicating that though?
No, we're not.
We're not communicating because it's if you this close to me, I expect you to know this. Yeah. And then when you don't do it, and I expect you to know it, now I'm in my feelings when you didn't perform when I thought you should have performed, and now there's a problem.
Yes.
Right? When we're talking about these young men today, they see that. You know, most of us, again, we lack identity because our identity was in our doing.
Yeah.
Compared to knowing.
Compared to it being free, I would say. Being able to experience more than just what reality says, which is work hard and get us out the gutter.
That's programming.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I like what Pastor Chinn said earlier, the child. Because that's what I teach every day, is the child. The child is what we call, is your subconscious brain. And your subconscious brain is what takes in all your memories and all your experiences, and it stores it in those boxes, pain and pleasure. More things go in that pain side, what do you think you're going to get? Pain, right? So I tell a lot of clients, when I'm teaching them coping skills to deal with anxiety and depression and trauma, one of the first coping skills I tell them each and every day is set notifications on your phone and tell young Chinn or young Walter to go to sleep. Because that is the person that's throwing them temper tantrums every day.
Wow.
Wanting to have his way. But now you're an adult man, you know better.
Yeah.
Logically, you know now when you get mad, you can't go punch the wall anymore. Yeah. You're an adult.
Why not?
But most people can't figure it out unless you're Mr. Yale over here.
I'm just saying, you said that. I'm trying to stay out of it,
No,
but I
go
like
ahead,
that you
go
said
ahead.
that, because some people feel that since they have not learned how to manage their anger, they feel rather than put a fist in your head, let me punch this wall instead of resolving the issue. So their mindset is, I'm doing the responsible thing by punching the wall, right?
Now in 2024, I'm glad you brought it up, because we're trying to teach a different way of doing that. In the past, when you got angry, we say, yeah, go punch that wall, go punch that pillow. Not necessarily the wall audience.
Right.
Go punch that pillow and get that aggression out. But we're learning more and more over time and more experience with unique individuals that that's just another form of aggression. Let's do something different. But everything that we do takes consistency and time. And so a lot of men, I will tell them, 20, 25, 30, 45, 55, your journey is your journey. And when the universe believes that you're ready to take on what you believe that looks like, you'll know. You'll know. Patience.
Programs for men, do they really work? As the CEO and founder of Healing Haven of Atlanta, I can tell y'all that it's a struggle, but I do have, and it's a awareness of, again, like I said, relationships are key. Making sure that we have people that are in the community that are able to, whatever we can't provide under our umbrella or in our space, that we're able to outsource that stuff. Counseling and therapy and all of that other stuff, we don't do that well, but we know who do that well, and so we want to make sure that we have that in our wheelhouse. And that was one of the areas that we chose to turn around and kind of increase our services, because what we knew was that we had something to offer to the community. It's great. We have a community resource center. I'm a young father. I'm a former this, and that. So we dealing with a whole lot of former this, and that. Well, not really former. They still in this stuff. We want to help them become former this, and that, right? So that empowerment piece of all of this. When we talk about the services, and we saying, do these services really work for men? I heard you talk earlier about these guys got to want this. We got to be credible. We got to make sure that once we raise that awareness, that when we flipped it to this, to where we're not pushing the product out there in front of you anymore. We're seeing this, that, man, really, you're not following through with the services because you don't have a roof over your head.
Exactly.
You don't have 3 square meals a day. So how are we expecting you to go to counseling and therapy and drug court and all of these other things? How is that expected when your basic needs are not met? So that was the thing that we had to, again, we knew we had a good product. We know we provided good services, but we didn't have our counseling piece until they committed to the program. And that was the thing that we wound up switching around. And Walt, I know that, like I said, you have been through a few programs already, and what worked for you, what didn't work for you, and why?
What worked for me, first off, my why had to be strong enough to even get to these particular programs, right? Because somewhere along the line, you mentioned earlier about hurting people. I didn't know how damaged whatever I was. But guess what? Because I wanted change. Okay, I felt God led me this way, led me that way. I seen that wasn't with what I had at the time. Now because I wanted it, I see that it started working out. It started working out because I asked questions. It started working out because here's someone that's willing to help. But as they're willing to help, where's my receptive to that help? Okay? I have to be in line to want better for myself compared to just looking for a handout. You know?
Man, people say that all the time, though. Man, compared to just looking for a handout. Man, that's not a form of pride.
It is.
Because man, I don't be looking for a handout, so I'm not gonna go in. I ain't going to Healing Haven of Atlanta, even though I know that they have a food pantry and a clothing closet. I'm raggedy. I don't look my best, and I'm starving out here. But hey, man, the mother of my child told me, man, my sister told me to go over there, man. And even though I know they got a food pantry, I ain't going over there for them folks to be looking at me all crazy. I don't need this handout.
I've been there. I've been in with the homelessness and everything, and that right there is that guilt and shame.
Yeah, because I'm not going to go in if I have a client and he's struggling at home and he's barely making it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go in talking about anxiety and depression and we need to work what's the behind the scenes. No, we're going to stay present, and I'm going to ask the questions on what is in your control. I know what's out of your control, what's causing the worry, but what's in your control to change the position that you're in now. If it's finances, okay, well, what does your system look like at this very moment on why the finances may be where they're at? And let's see where we can make some changes within your system to get you closer to what you need. Will it be 100%? No, but at least we now have an idea of where we're going.
Right.
And you have to start that way with a lot of men, because what most men are, we're logical, analytical people, right?
Yeah.
And so we might not always, we have so much stress on us from the real world. You got to keep the real world in communication. And then as you're working it from that angle, now you can throw in. So when you're dealing with these finances in your home and you're stressed out, now what's your behavior, Mr. Client? Oh, the behavior is I'll grab a beer. Well, Mr. Client, now
Party time, party time. What's the problem? Hold on, because we all had some party time moments now where we turned around and again made a damn mess of our lives, because that thing that was easy to attain at that time, man, that thing was hard to get rid of. What we say, easy to get into, hard as heck to get out of.
Yes.
So what was that party time moment? You had a party time moment? Walt, you had a party time moment?
I've had plenty of party time moments. It kept me stuck. You know, it had me going in that revolving door, you know, things of that nature, because like, oh, this is the only way I know to cope. I'm running from this success. I'm running from, you know, what it is that I know I need to do. First off. Second off, don't have the purpose of why I'm doing what I just know to do, right? But this right here, this feels good. I'm not understanding the comfort in my uncomfortabilities just yet. And it goes right back, you just said earlier, about the child development part of the mind. You got these grown man decisions to make. You know,
you don't want to make them, or you gonna get back to it.
You don't know the purpose of making them. I put them on the back burner or what have you, because like I know I can get to it. Right. You know what I mean?
But see, we got to remember too, fellas, that we can talk about the past.
Yeah.
But I will tell people every day, you might be the captain of your ship, but you're the master of your fate. Yeah. The past may make your present. That doesn't mean it dictates your future.
Exactly.
So even though you grew up as a kid and you grew up where your nervous system has now been elevated because you witnessed this, you witnessed that, you did all these things, that don't mean today we can't change.
That's right.
Doesn't mean that way. But to get them to see it and stay consistent, then that's that little fine gray area, right? And consistency goes back to what you said, your own accountability.
Right.
You know, if you feel like it's time to make a change, then let's try. And that's all I ask. Just try.
Just try. Don't nothing be the favorite brother. Try.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I like when we talk about community organizations, do they work? I believe, yes, they do work, but we need more organizations like Pastor Chinn and Walter, you being a mentor, and more people helping people for more than just the money. Because now that mental health has become the number one epidemic in America. What has happened with the prices? It's going sky high, right? Yeah. So it takes more and more people to really just go out in the community and do more pro bono work to give the community more opportunities to find that change that they're looking for.
Yeah, I like that, man. Everybody talking about the bag. Everybody talking about me. A lot of people start out with good intentions, but when the rubber meets the road and that real person and that real need shows up, that good intention now turns into they can't provide that service. And when it comes back to the money piece of it, now the person is not treated as a human being. It's just, hey man, you can't afford this. You can't afford me. So the youth, they see this. Those younger guys that that have kids. You know what I'm saying? Those young men that didn't have a father in their lives, they're looking to see how the men are moving out here today, and the things that are happening is just not adding up, because we still have grown men that have identity issues. We got grown men right now that want to dress like rappers. They they're taking all of their money and they're investing in that, or the social media, that thing that's out there. We know that that's really a big lie, but our young adults don't see that. Which means, in most cases, man, we have these young kids, these young fathers that rather sleep with these 10 women, have 2 kids over here, and still never deal with the responsibilities of being a father to these 2 kids, because right now, oh man, everything is over sexualized, which means this young lady is not a person to him anymore. This young lady is now a hole that he gets to get his rocks off with. You understand? So it's so many. When I say having these identity issues, again, that young man can identify with the kid that's in that adult, but he can't identify with the adult because the adult can't identify with the adult.
Well, many men that come in, the root of it is self-worth.
Yeah.
A lot of self-worth.
I've been there. I've been there.
I think we all been there. I mean, I'm still coming out of self-worth and feeling value in my own self. This past couple of weekends ago, we did a conference, and my good friend Dallin had my business information posted up on the table. He don't know what that meant to me, but for many, many years, I always felt somewhat inadequate, somewhat of as an imposter, but I find myself now educating people.
Man.
Right?
Man.
So by just seeing that emblem, that logo on that table, that confirmed that I'm here. And now I can talk to that judge. I can talk to Pastor Chinn. I can talk to Walter. I can talk to Dallin and my man over here as if it's just family.
Yeah.
But it takes experience, and these things, the world has to show you sometimes that you're worthy.
Yeah.
You can say you're worthy all day long, but the world sometimes got to show you, and that was one of my moments that said,
and man, that is so golden that you say that, because even that was relationship. Like you said, you didn't know how much, he didn't know how much that meant to you, but because of the relationship, he just did it. Just like even for mine. You understand? So it's those things to where you have those genuine relationships that helps confirm and affirm who you are without that person even knowing it like that.
Exactly.
And that's again what our young adults, they lack that. They lack that. Our men need to learn how to love him first.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, Miss Woodard, you're right.
Absolutely. But when we don't have that in front of us, it's kind of hard. And when we put provider out there and we treat it like that, it's kind of hard to love me when I don't know what that looks like, and I don't know what that feels like, because when I do well, you show me that you love me, but really it's care.
Yeah.
Because soon as I stop performing, then
Oh,
now you really tell me how you feel about me. Now you really show me how you feel about me. And unfortunately, again, we teach our children this. We teach our children, because this thing, we give. We work our butts off. We give. They're not perfect kids, but whatever they stand in need of, even our wives sometimes, whatever our significant others, whatever they stand in need of, they don't gotta ask dad twice. They don't gotta ask boyfriend twice. They don't have to ask provider twice. That's something I'm supposed to do.
Okay.
Is make sure you straight. Right? So, and then when you don't meet that, everything stops.
Yeah, we call it all or nothing thinking.
All or nothing thinking.
Dina Woodward, what does love look like on the inside of a man?
Loving himself, learning how to be content with himself, regardless of what's going on.
That's peace.
That man has to, man, Dana, I'm glad you asked that. And I'll say this. That man's relationship with Jesus Christ has got to be to a place of understanding this. My life ain't mine. This life doesn't belong to me. There's an expectation of me while I'm here. And in that expectation, I find out through prayer my purpose. The trials and tribulations of life, I find out that God is still a good God. All things work together for the good to those that love God, but that are called according to his purpose, right? So when we get to a place of one, understanding that I didn't create me. Secondly, that there is a expectation while I'm here. And third, that when I leave here, I want to leave on empty, right? So loving me is not putting myself in stuff that's going to take away from me, stuff that's going to cause my character to be flawed, cause me to act out of character, my integrity, and all of those things. I want to build myself to a place, and we're teaching our guys this right now. Where is God in that? Where is God in your thoughts? Where is God in your actions? Where is God in your relationship? Where is God in that bank account? Where is God in that?
I like that, Pastor, because in Christianity, what are the holy trinities, Pastor? What do you say? No, you tell me. Help me out.
Go. Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
Father, Son, Holy Spirit, correct? In my world, it's mind, body, and soul. The mind, or the Father, it's your guide. He says you can go A or you can go B. Okay. But at the end of the day, it's still up to you to what? Make that decision, because he gave you foresight. Well, foresight for me is your neocortex, your conscious brain, your logical brain. Your body is the sun.
Okay.
Because when this is off, when the Lord is off, your body's going to let you know first. If those thoughts are off and you're having these visuals and these negatives that's hounding you, your body's going to feel it. You're either going to feel it in your gut, going to feel it in that chest, some feel it in their neck, some have migraines. And then the soul. The soul for me is the behavior that you put out into your reality.
Wow.
So you can have all that going on in your head. You can have all those emotions going on. But what makes you a whole man is what you display in your reality. So mind, body, and soul.
That's the manifestation.
Same teachings, same teachings, just said a different way.
It's becoming one with yourself, man. Because if we think of this, how much better would my life be if I learned to mind my business?
Mind your business.
If I didn't jump into your life and make you my project. Because what usually happens is I jump in your life when I don't want to deal with what's going on in mine. And then I mask it as, oh my gosh, I love you so much. And I want to help and I want to see you succeed and be the best you can be in life and all of this other stuff. And my life raggedy as hell.
But that the individual should want that for himself. I've had episodes like that. Being so in tune to help the next, right? Running from facing that hurt, that pain, that fear.
Yeah.
Running from those things.
The fear of what though?
The fear of knowing what it is to be free.
Is it the fear of success?
Cool.
Some? Because success requires responsibility and accountability.
That it does.
It does.
That it does.
Right? So we're gonna move from this space right here, because I wanted to. That's why we have Mr. Alsobrook on today also, because I've been walking with this young man for the last year and a half, and man, just to see his life turn the way it's been turning. I remember, man, going with you to court last year and standing in to say that this man is a part of being a facilitator and helping us mentor over at Healing Haven of Atlanta. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
I remember standing in because we had to get to we had to get to a session, and you had to get out of there Usually y'all in court a few more hours.
Man, normally about 12, 20, 12,
Yeah.
30. That was just one of the long sessions.
But my point is, man, I felt so honored that you asked me to come and represent you like that. I felt like your damn attorney in so many ways.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? And then to see the interaction. And y'all, he'll share his own testimony, but I know as the CEO and as the founder and as the one of the counselors at Healing Haven of Atlanta, to be able to witness one, our program working, but then secondly, it wouldn't have worked without your buy-in. Because when he had originally came, he called on the phone and he was asking about the services, and we wasn't fully in place and in space yet, so we had limited services. But what he told me was, hey, can I come volunteer? Right? So he comes, he sees what's going on, he comes and he volunteers his time, right? And now, as he volunteers his time, things start opening up for him, things start opening up for me. And one of the best moments I want to say again was going to the 100 men's.
Yeah.
What was that?
That was the 100 Men in Black.
100 Men in Black.
100 Men in Black. Man, that was an experience.
Yeah. Tell me about that experience.
That experience right there, man. You know, in all black, dressed up. You know, tucked out, nice, formal. You know, I've had privilege to go do sound engineering and stuff like that, what have you. But that's one side. That was the working side of dressing up, going to make some things happen, right? And we're providing a service.
Yeah.
This was an event to where it was like, wow, look at this recognition. Yes. Wow, you know, that was something amazing.
Who was you with? Who did you bring with you?
I brought my son.
Who did you bring with you?
I brought my son.
He brought a son.
I brought my son.
Deck down.
Until I had him, that was his actual first suit. My son had never brought a suit. He was 14 at the time. He had never brought a suit, man. And I brought that, and he enjoyed himself. And that right there, for me, man, that was a spark. That was a spark to just let's continue this journey. No, it's not over. You know, I had an epiphany some years ago, man. Like you know, you get 45, you gonna retire, right? Yeah. Like okay, I ain't gonna disclose my age right now. But look, it's not over.
No.
You know, it's not over. There is life after these particular dark times. It's life after that, much life. As long as I know I take it one day at a time.
Because if you think about it, Walter, as a man, if you grew up where everything was given to you, life was always good, just great, what are you really gonna learn? Who are you when things get a little hectic at some point? What are you gonna do with that? So it's about if you've already been in hell and you've been talking to the devil for years,
right?
And finally at some point you find your way making it out of hell and you're now heaven on earth. Do you think it's anything on earth that can stop you? If you've already been talking to the devil?
It depends on if we look at it the way you just presented it. You just rolled that thing out like that.
Because that's that. You know, that's the openness with my transparency and addictions and you know, alcoholism and all that stuff. It's a whole nother world. Yeah. It's a world of despair. It's a world of loneliness. You know, it's a world of selfishness. You know, when you think you love somebody, you ain't love them.
Yes. And that's why I mentioned that, because in addiction, that's what it is. It's hell for a lot of people. For many, many years, you're grinding, trying to what? Get that drug.
Man, I'm telling you, right? you think you're grinding to do something. You ain't doing that. And when they roll back that tongue, I can come borrow from you, I can borrow from you. Get what? Well, I'm ready to go get it. You feel me?
So then when they come to me, I tell them just like I would have told you, Walter. You already made it from that. So that's strength. The next question I have for you is, what did you learn from that situation that can create the fantasy that you've been thinking of all these years? How can you make that a reality?
How you can make that?
And what's our system we put in place? Most men, one of the valuable things that we can talk about is that you are your own brand. You're your company.
Yeah.
You know?
That's good.
And how does a successful company run? by branding, marketing, and the systems. So when you go out, you respect yourself. You respect yourself, others are going to give you that respect. Your marketing is what you put forth, that behavior, and then the systems, how you manage those emotions. Branding, marketing, and system as a person.
Right.
And I guarantee you, is it still going to be tough?
Most
Yeah, it's still gonna be
definitely.
tough, but you know there's still other options that I can take to jump over those obstacles.
That's why
Yes, sir.
I've had some guys had discussion, and in that discussion, like, hey man, you the CEO. You the CEO of your life. God give you the power, God give you the tools. Use them.
Yep.
Use them. Learn them. Use them. Implement them.
嗯
One day at a time, though, because it don't happen overnight, man. It's a process. Yeah. Instead of having certain, being victimized by events, right? Having certain events play out and dictate all this attitude and behavior. Wait, hold on. That particular event, I don't need to have mess up my process. Wow.
You got to understand, when the universe says this is your journey, you have to take a close look at that journey to make the next move. For myself, my journey was, I'm not going to have kids. It's not my journey. But yet the past said I had 3. We just didn't make it to this earth. But maybe the reason why I don't is because for the first 20 years of my life, I didn't have no foundation built. I didn't have this A, B, and C put in place to raise another kid into my stuff. But then I hit a certain age and you realize now I'm selfish.
Yeah.
What would I look like now doing that? Yeah. No, I'm just going to have what? Regret down the road.
But that's a form of self-awareness.
And that's a form of self-awareness that takes experience in time.
Wow. And even seeking out the services, man, is still a form of self-awareness. And again, I'm speaking to the man and the father, and giving you your kudos again, because when you came and you and your son was decked down, y'all was in this black man, and I was a proud dad. You understand? And that was your son. You understand? Yeah. So again, that's what we are really about. And the question was about these kind of programs working. You said how you got to work the program. Therapist G, you spoke earlier about it's a process. And what I do know is that in our intake process, a lot of times guys come out because they feel like they're going to fix all of those wrongs in one session or 2 sessions or something like that. And it's just like a church. It's just like, you come in and the pastor, when you're not rooted and grounded right, you know what I'm saying? That you come and you get your feel from the pastor. You come and you get excited and you do all of this other stuff. But then, did you learn anything? Because what's usually happening is you go and you get entertained. And if you hadn't really sat with the word that he or she preached at that time, then that means that there's not going to be no change in you. You're going to wait until you can come back and get entertained again, and you coming and going the same way. So it can be the same thing with these organizations. That Therapist G, they come and woo, you're the highlight of their week.
There you go. Yes,
you're the highlight of the week. Yes, or Walt, they come and you're the highlight of their week. To when you're mentoring or running any of these facilitation sessions that you run. And again, when we're not intentional about getting that relationship in place, then we can't walk him through the process. And then when he does fall off, be able to get on the phone or be able to hit a text and just do a welfare check here or there.
Yep, you got it.
You understand? So,
Pastor Chinn, you're exactly right. That's why those first few sessions with these clients, stay present and meet them where they're at.
Yeah,
you got to work through that stuff first, because if you don't, you're not. It's gonna be hard, or harder, I should say. Yeah.
At this point, what brings you joy?
I love the fact that I can have a clear conscience. Ooh. That's that peace of mind right now, knowing how to, if anything is a challenge, still I handle it because I know God is right there. I know, and I'm continuing to build that relationship with God like never before. Never before. just a clear conscience. The prayer, the meditation that I do, man.
Mm-hmm.
When I say ranking on healing, I can't heal by myself. I need other brothers and things that have that wisdom, that experience.
Yeah.
You know, because what's the point of having knowledge and you ain't putting it in action?
Yes,
Come
sir.
on,
It's
man,
all
you
about
doing
action.
it, man.
Yes.
You know, that's not gonna help. No, you stagnated still. You know,
Yeah.
that's gonna go back to that stinking thinking if you
You
ain't careful.
already know.
You gotta put it in action.
Yes, sir.
Walk it like you talk.
Walking like you talk. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Walk it like you talk. Yeah.
And understand the stages of change.
Yeah.
The last stage of change is relapse.
And that right there comes from not maintaining. Because you have
There you go.
pre-contemplation, then you contemplate.
Come on with
and
it.
then
Come
when
on with
And
it.
then when you contemplate, you know, you go ahead and you make a choice.
Action.
And when you make that choice, you got your action. And as you do that action, there's maintenance.
Maintenance. Yes, sir. Come on with it, brother.
Stay with the maintenance.
Yes, sir.
Don't go past the maintenance.
Yes, sir. But what happens to most of us once we are in the maintenance and we start to feel good? What happens to
Oh
us?
man, here come the gloating.
Yeah.
Here come the I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. I'm doing it.
It's the reason I'm sitting here now that the weight I wanted to be. I got comfortable again. Now look, I got to change it up again.
Yeah.
It's true. But sometimes you have to go through relapse in order to feel that pain again to say, I don't want to be here.
Now, and I had a brother that God be with his partner had something on Facebook, man. My brother that was part of the drug court program that he passed, and he put the post out there. And however it was, I ain't got the full details or what have you about it, but those emotions when it comes to the drug and alcohol use, those emotions are one of those factors to where folks don't come about that emotional rut. Because the drugs and alcohol is one of them things that that made me feel good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the value. I'm gonna value this because I want to feel.
Mm-hmm.
Being alive right now is great. This right now? This is. I mean, you know.
Wow.
I words can't even describe this. You know.
Where you currently are?
Yeah.
In your life?
Mentally, yes.
This is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, I refuse to have gotten to a point where I'm going to take psychotic medicine. Not me. We ain't finna do that. You know, because I've seen in my walk, man, I've seen folks that would play with that. So that let me know, okay, you're lazy. You're lazy. That's what that is. I'm not gonna judge you, but you're lazy. There's some folks out here that really need this.
Explain that you're lazy for the people that don't realize they might be lazy.
Oh, well, they're the lazy mind, right? So that's looking for that quick fix, that manipulation. You know, these particular thought processes are, this person got it, and they got it for free. I ain't gonna go and put in these 8 hours I need to put in on this job because I ain't got a plan to go make it happen. I just want to piggyback off this person, or I'm gonna look at what this person got going on, and I'm gonna manipulate what's happening.
I was reading that a different way. Lazy as the work you got to put in for the change isn't easy.
No, it's not.
So you turn to the other things to medicate you because, as G was just saying, just the working out part, right? Just to get back to a certain weight or whatever, a certain level of fitness, where you don't do that just sitting down. You got to put in work to get to a certain level in life.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah,
it's uncomfortable.
That's what I was reading.
It's uncomfortable when in my walk that change it came because of my wife, number one.
But let me jump into walk because I can. What you were just saying about the lazy part of me getting my life together and my act together, I can see exactly where you was coming from because, man, I would not do therapy. I would not do counseling because she recommended it. You understand? So when somebody else recommends it, you go through the motions. You trying to check the box. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and do it. But the laziness was not seeing the value in it at one time.
not putting in the work for yourself because you didn't see the need, and that it's not so much that you're the problem, is that you need a different perspective on some stuff.
Yes, you got it.
You understand?
What about seeing all these things? What I'm saying is, what about seeing all these things, knowing all these things? Awareness creates change. You don't want to do the change part. I don't want to have to get up because I got this job right here in my hands, and I might have to get up a little earlier than I want to get to this job. I might have to do a little more since I'd have made my wife mad. I got to do a little more to show her that I'm trying to fix my F-ups. You see what I'm saying? Like, the lazy part is you got to do what you need to do to prove something to everybody around you and yourself. You can't just hear it. What part you trying to do to change it?
I ain't trying to prove.
Okay, so you can tell me to go to therapy. I go to therapy, and the therapist says, "Well, Mr. Williams, you actually got to stop drinking alcohol." Shit, I do.
That's why I teach the science behind it, because most men, that's the angle that we're coming from. Is I'm here because
there you go. There you go. Yes, sir.
And so the science behind it, everything you just said is client, I hear where you're coming from. But see, at Lawton Counseling Services, I'm going to be a little bit different than most counselors. I'm going to educate you what this mind is doing. So when you say I've been stuck in this rut and these cycles, I'm going to teach you about what that cycle is to make it make sense to you. And if that makes sense to you, now whatever you decide to do, you got to just accept what that looks like, and you got to be able to accept the consequences. You can be lazy. Right. You don't have to work if you don't want to.
Man, but you don't have a result.
You just got to deal with whatever.
You got to deal with comes with it.
Don't complain.
There you go. When there was no change in my life due to my laziness at that time, that's when I started to have to, get serious about me. Yeah. It wasn't about her anymore. It wasn't about proving nothing to nobody else. Right now, this is between me and me. Exactly. Because you look yourself in that mirror, you know what you see. Yeah. And if you're not happy with what you see, it's time to do something about it. Yeah. And most of the time, we don't want to face that truth. So we run from that truth. So, D, like you were saying, the laziness part of it was rejecting the obvious.
Yeah, laziness for me was when I failed law school, came back to Atlanta mad. I'm running the streets. I'm doing all kinds of things. I'm acting a fool. But then I started meeting women that said, you're almost 40 years old and you're broke.
What you doing?
I don't need you anymore.
Ooh, ouch.
I don't want you. You're not valuable these days.
There you go.
And that'll make you really look at yourself okay, we need to do something about this. And 7 years later, you have Therapist G.
Amen. That's good. That's awareness creates change.
There you go. Value, counseling and addiction services.
Yeah. And until we get to that place of value for ourselves and knowing that can't another person bring value to you, you got to value you.
There you go.
You have to value you. So guys, we're at this time and point, man. I wanted to say to you, man, again, Walt, super proud of you and the work that you've been doing. In and out of it, man. I witnessed it all the way to the point, y'all, to where been seeing pictures of him and his sons. Y'all know how key that is. But on top of all of that, turns around and get his driver's license reinstated and all of that. So that, again, man, proud of the fact that you saw enough in you to make that change for yourself. And then I'm proud because I get to put it on Healing Haven of Atlanta. As a part of that, as a part of our program that you had to buy into first and foremost, that you had to see the value in it to be able to even get to this space and place. Because we do still have a whole bunch of guys, Therapist G, that they haven't arrived here yet. They know that their life is messed up. They know that their driver's license is not good, but they're still taking these chances and they're trying to justify it by saying, I'm just going to work and I'm hoping that the officer is going to understand that I'm taking this chance for my family, when really, again, man, you got to put in the work. It ain't no way around that. It ain't no way around it. So again, man, salute to you. You put in the work, you're putting in the work, and it's definitely making a difference. And everybody could see it. So congratulations to you again. We good? You want to plug it? You want to plug
Yeah,
it? I heard you say Lawton Service.
You know,
Go
I
ahead.
threw that in there.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, very proud. Again, Garrick Lawton. I am the proud owner now of Lawton Counseling and Addiction Services. My motto again is awareness creates change. Again, without awareness, there can be no change. And when I talk about awareness, I mean how we view ourselves, others in the world, that mentality, our core beliefs. Also, where can I be found? You can find me at, if you want to do business, well, let me back up a little bit. If you are seeking assistance and you would like to do business with Therapist G, you can find me at www.betterhelp.com/Garrick, GARRICK -Lawton, LAWTON, or just make it easier for you. Just go to Garrick Lawton on Facebook or awareness.creates.change on Instagram. And I look forward to hearing from you.
I ain't have the dots, none on it. I asked him, didn't I ask him?
Yeah, it's all good. Hey, he gonna fix it on. He gonna fix it on there.
Awareness.creates.change. You can find me on Instagram, but just look me up, Garrick Lawton, Facebook.
Cool. So, hey guys, we'll be back at it next week at Keep Your Chin Up podcast. Well, man, actually, the topic next week is going to be dealing with men. The men really use their children as pawns also when that relationship goes south.
Man.
Is it just the women, or is it, men play those games also? So we're going to talk about that and talk through.
Dennis just.
We're going to talk through that.
Right,
the men
Dennis.
use their children as pawns also. One, to be able to stay in her business, to be able to snoop and see what's going on through your kid. Yeah, and mask it as saying, hey, I'm just over here to see my child. Well, why are you popping up unannounced then? You could have, there's some stuff in place. But that's going to be next week, guys. Again, Keep Your Chin Up podcast, where we provide help, hope, and resources through casual but courageous conversations. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Peace.
Thank you.